What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Hold on. Now you just made me readjust all my aligning.
Well, I just broke a piece of mine off.
This is not what they sound like, though.
Quick, show when they ran off into the gravel and the grass.
Just fucking throw it to the side. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Were the wheels also a different size? Like these ones were smaller than the back.
Yes, yeah, the front are smaller than the front than the back ones.
I feel like I'm so far down today.
Hello, friends.
Hello,
listeners.
I need to make sure that I had the right mic selected. I do.
Hello, family that is listening to this. I don't know. There's two things here that I'm really kind of like flabbergasted on, and I don't really know how to start. One, that fucking race that we just got.
Yeah.
And two, the fact that this is our 100th episode.
Yep. I know it's weird.
I feel like we should start with the 100th episode.
Yeah, because there's really not that much weekly news, so we can do.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Start with the 100th episode.
Also, it didn't send me the new note for when you ran the thing.
It didn't? It should be in the folder. If it never texts you, you can at least do that. You just check on the folder and it should be there.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Did you put them? Okay.
Yeah, it ran today. All right. So, yes. The fact that we have been doing this now for 100 episodes is something that is insanely wild to me. And I feel like I'm a broken record when I say this, but I still can't believe, especially with recently when we did the whole like relaunch thing and we've looked at where we started and how we started this show and what we were like, where we were living, what was going on in our lives.
You went through 3 locations.
I've been through 3 different recording locations now. I've been to mom and dad's, I've been to my Aunt and I's apartment, and now the house.
The house.
And I'm shocked. I'm amazed. I'm honored. I love that we've been able to do this for 100 episodes. I love that we have people now who listen to us and allow us to do this for 100 episodes. I mean, even just the small things that are just like, holy shit, this is happening to me. You know, like the other night during Australia, I posted a thread. I don't know if you saw it, Case. I said, let's see if I can quickly find it.
I'm sorry, I just realized that the thing is like overlapping. Oh, I think it's still from when they were live. When they were live last night for the bracket.
Okay, so I posted a thread during Australia, right? And I said, what a timeline we live in. We're watching Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari chase Alex Albon in a Williams for P7, right?
Yeah.
That got 623 likes, 8 comments, 26 reposts, and 15 shares. So even just that, even that alone, the fact that people recognized it enough people saw it that happened, and that never would have happened if this show didn't start. You know, so it's a huge. Again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record when I say this. It's an amazing thank you to everybody. It's an amazing thank you to all of my friends, all of our family, and all of our loved ones who have supported us through this and been there for us to talk to us about this and listen to us ramble about 20 men who drive cars in a circle. And
in funny shaped circles.
To
our sleep schedule that gets messed up.
To our sleep schedule that gets fucked up. I'm sure my nurse wife, who wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning through Australia weekend, loved me getting into bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah, it's just wild to me that this has been happening for 100 episodes. I love that we've been able to do it. I love that it's something that's brought you and I closer and everything, and that we can talk about, like, day in and day out. There's no other way to put it other than just awesome, and it's such a privilege. So a huge thank you to everybody.
I was thinking this is our third full season cut with the podcast. I think about it. We announced it, I think, the last time the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. That was the night the show was announced. I'm pretty sure we posted it on Instagram. Because Kyle always likes to post shows.
2022. Okay. I was thinking 2017 for a second. And I was like, no way. No, 2022. Yes.
Yes. We posted like that the show was coming out because it started right before that season, right before the 2022 or 2023 season, not 2022, 2023. But yeah, it is insane. I mean, I've only gone through 2 recording locations, but we both graduated from the basements because we were both in basements at one point.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, no, I was realizing I didn't turn my overhead light on. Yeah, no, it's and we've started the show being like, one day we'll get to go to a race. Yeah. Now we've been to an F1 race, we've been to a race technically as media. We're talking about going to another F1 race. Like, it's just I never would have imagined, but I also agree. I mean, we've always been siblings that have been close.
Yeah.
Everyone always says that we've always been close, but this is definitely, I don't want to sound like new heights in a way, because how they said, like, yes, they were close, like Jason and Travis with doing their podcast brought them so much closer together. They have like a scheduled time to meet and do all this stuff now, and it's just like not even a part of a schedule anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, I get to go home and now talk about F1 cars for an hour, sometimes close to 2. Yeah,
I mean, it's a scheduled time for us to sit down and actually discuss something that we both really love, and we both amazingly somehow fell in love with it. I mean, it's crazy to think about. If you asked me 4 years ago if
I'm listening,
this would have been something that I liked, that I would have been like, I don't know, it's cool. I watched the Netflix series, but never really watch a race. And now I'm like, yes, I will be up at 3 a.m. for the next race.
China.
Like,
well, yeah. I always think back to, because we both started watching it 2022, the season, what could have been the Ferrari season.
Yes.
That was thrown away. Because I remember I went to a bachelorette party right before Miami, right before the first ever Miami in Fort Lauderdale. I remember seeing the stuff. I remember, like, there was a car in the middle of the street. I did not care. Come home a few weeks later, end up getting COVID, binge the entire show. And I remember when I told you, you were like, wait,
I'm so happy. I was amazed that you even were like, yeah, I started it. You were like, no, I watched the whole show. Like, it's great. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah,
amazed at it.
A few short months later, we started the podcast. We didn't know what we were talking about. Sometimes we still don't know what we're talking about. But we made it work.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah. That's also something that I love about this, and I love the fact that we do have listeners and a community now and everything that we're a part of, is that we can be open about the fact of when we started watching this and when we started doing this and following the sport, and nobody, and I hope that we've been somewhat a part of cultivating this community kind of on especially specifically F1 threads, but like this community of like, doesn't matter when you started watching it, doesn't matter if you're what fan of the team you are and everything, like if you have a question, if you don't know what you're talking about and everything, nobody's going to care, but everybody's going to help you. Like, we're all here to support each other and just take in this thing that we all love and all enjoy. And I can't. I don't know what else to say other than thank you. Those words, as we continue to grow a little bit more and everything, those words are starting to feel like shallow. Like it doesn't feel like it's enough.
No, I agree.
But it's yes, the fact that we get to do this and the fact that we get to do this together is something that is amazing and awesome, and it's so much fun to do and everything. So yeah, thank you to everybody for listening to us and getting us to 100 episodes.
And here's to 100 more.
Here's to 100 more.
I also think it's fitting that our 100th episode is the first race recap of the 2025 season after the most chaotic season opener. But,
Yes.
like, also, this past weekend being race weekend, like being back on threads with literally, I think it was like we opened the door and everyone came back.
Mm-hmm.
Like people that maybe went away for the off season, everyone was back.
Everyone.
But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about and some predictions. But yes, thank you. We can't say it enough. Thank you so much for listening to us yap. And here's to more yapping. So
here's to definitely more talking about this sport and following along and everything. You know, I had the chance today to talk to somebody at work who's been a fan of the sport for 30 years.
Damn.
He was like, I've watched races with Schumacher, I've watched races with Kimi Räikkönen, like all these like big names, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, and I just like think about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna be able to say, 20 years from now, oh, I watched MaxVerstappen in his prime. Like I
remember where
happening.
I was when Lewis went from Mercedes to Ferrari.
Right,
Like,
I was there. Yeah. I got the news notification that Lewis had gone to Ferrari. Like, it's just like moments like that where I'm like, damn. But
part of me wishes that we could have. I mean, that's the beautiful of like YouTube and F1 TV. You can go back and watch so many of those old races. Part of me wishes I like did watch during that time because they're just the legends of the sport. But yeah. Season's not over, and if it's anything like this past weekend, it's gonna be a long ass season.
If Australia was a microcosm for the season, we are in for a fucking doozy.
Yeah, we're in for a long ass. We're in for a good time, but a long time. I'm gonna need a nap after every single race. But yes. First up, as always, I think this started episode 2, week 2.
This has been an OG segment that has just ran the whole time.
Oh my god! I just remember I have to do a Pints and Pit Stop.
You do have to do a Pints and Pit Stops. It should be pretty easy.
Okay.
It should be. I'll explain it when we get there.
It's on my table. When I went to the store and got the balloons, I got a very small whiteboard. That could probably fit right here.
Yes.
Wait, I'll grab it.
That's good. That is good.
See?
That's perfect.
So I figured today when I was in the store, I was like, oh, this is the first Pints and Pit Stops of the season, like race-wise.
Yes.
I was like, we need to write down the times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need our fastest times up there, which I can tell you after.
Yeah. But yes. So, and we'll put a phrase up there because she was one of the fastest times.
Yes.
But yes.
She was
moving on.
One of the fastest times.
It was. She used to be the fastest time, but then turned into what? My bangs are wild. Okay. Meme of the week. Me first, you first?
Go me first, because I love mine.
Okay. I also like mine.
You don't like mine, but I love mine. So it's just a big.
It's so good.
For our audio only listeners, it's just a picture of some text, and it says, when I say Ferrari, it's the Ferrari logo. If you're trying to visualize it in your mind, but it says, "I'd follow Ferrari to hell and back, but I wish Ferrari just stopped going there."
The same.
I don't know what it was about this. I was just scrolling on threads earlier today, looking for a meme of the week and just browsing too, and I came across this, and it was the first thing that made me actually like laugh about the race and everything. And I was like, this is so good. I was like, this is immediate. I reposted it and I was like, I'm saving this for meme of the week.
Yeah.
Like,
I could have done so many memes. I could have had like 12. I could have done a whole show of memes on this past weekend race wise. But this one, I wish they'd stop going there but I'm still following them. But I wish they'd stop going.
You wish you'd stop.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. I need to like print that one out.
Yeah, that one. Ooh, that might be good for back there.
No, you're not putting that up.
Really good for back there.
You're not putting that up there. My meme of the week. I don't know if it's gonna play, but it doesn't really. I mean, it can play, but I don't think it needs the audio. I don't think you need the audio.
Yes.
So obviously, it's the radio from
So good.
Charles Leclerc and Brian, and Charles goes, "I think there's a leak," and he's like, "A leak of what?" And he says, "I have a seat full of water, like full of water." And Brian responds with, "Oh, must be the water."
Must be water.
Must be the water. Charles literally responds, I need to read it because I need to get it word for word right. Charles responds with the best, let's add that to the words of wisdom.
The Ferrari radios this entire race were golden. We're so good.
I could have done, yes, I'm saying I could have done each driver had. I mean, I think Charles earlier on was like, no, please stop. Please stop telling me. But
he says to Brian at one point, like, leave me to it. Like, don't talk to me. Leave me to it.
Oh yeah, he was told to like cool down the tires or his like back tires.
Yes.
Or something. He's like, Leah, leave me to it.
Yeah.
But this one just had like shades of like Kimi Räikkönen with like, well, let's add that to the words of wisdom. Like it was just so like, quick. So quick.
I just love it. I have a seat full of water. Must be the water. Must be the water. No shit, Brian.
Literally, thank you. I didn't think that's what it was. Oh,
I had no idea.
But it was just like I can also just like you just also heard the sass in his voice.
He was sassy all race.
Yeah, it was pure Charles Leclerc, like, I'm sick of this shit. It's race 1, literally like lap 10. We're not even halfway through. And I'm already getting this sass through the radio.
He was done.
Yeah. I can picture his like face. I mean, he said it before in different things. He's like, I have very expressive eyes. I know. So I can only imagine what his eyes look like, what his face under the helmet. He was probably like, must be the water.
He's got he's got subtitles. That's what he's got. His eyes have subtitles.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. That is. They were good. The Ferrari radios were good.
Ferrari radios were golden. Wait, I had another meme of the week that I made that was so funny.
You made?
Yeah. Because it needed to be shared, so I'm going to share my screen again. So hold on. Before we get to the weekly news.
Yeah, there's so much of it.
Yeah, there's one thing. One thing, but it is kind of big, so.
Yeah, it is big. You're right.
I just realized I should flip my screen.
Why?
How are you reading it? 100 or 001?
I'm reading it 100. I'm reading it left to right. 100.
Okay, because when I just looked up, I was like, wait, should it be the other way? This was the one I made because they legit put Yuki behind George Russell. I made a TikTok video, literally took 2 seconds, and it's blown up. And I do get it. They did championship order, so that is why V-Carb's in the back. Because, like, even Esteban and stuff were on the end, and they were blocking. Who were they blocking? I forget who they were partially blocking as well. But George in front of Yuki, criminal. Absolutely criminal.
Brutal move.
And then, but this is the angle that, obviously the bigger picture is a whole group, but this is the angle that Mercedes posted. And I literally commented, I said, you did Yuki dirty. You don't even see him.
You don't even, like, other than his shoulders, you don't see a thing. Like, you can also make an argument that Yuki's hair is just part of George's hair. Like, it just looks like a weird angle, like whatever. Yeah, it's a shadow. So,
like, couldn't they have switched? Couldn't they have put? Now Carlos would have been covered a little bit, but like George in front of Carlos would have made more sense. Or you put Carlos, Alex,
why would you?
George, Kimi, Yuki.
Why would you not put Kimi in front of Yuki? Whoever took it, again, the front-on photo is fine. You can see everyone. But the angled photo by Mercedes, is not.
Well, someone even posted the photo that F1 posted, like the dead-on photo. Carlos is making some weird-ass face, and that's the photo they posted.
Of course.
Yeah, but Yeah, but like not like stared, like he's like like he was smiling and like relaxed for a second and is going back to smiling. But yeah, I like that they asked. I think they technically had two buses, I think, for driver's parade. And Lawrence Bretta was on the bus with Yuki, and he literally said, "Yuki, I'm so sorry they put Georgia in front of you." Yuki's like, "Yeah, I know. What was with that?" He goes, "Photoshop
Yeah.
us, get to work."
Make him a little bit taller.
Make
Yuki a little bit taller.
But yeah. So that was our memes of the week, and on the one extra, I kind of forgot about that one after the radio happened because I
I'm glad you showed that one.
Made the Monsters Inc. one way before the race even started, and obviously there were so many radio moments. I was like, okay, because I just keep saying out of like random moments, I just keep being like, let's add that to the words of wisdom.
It's just so like stupid, so good.
It is French accent,
like,
yeah.
The cherry on top of what this race was.
For Ferrari specifically.
Yeah.
I did post before getting weekly news. I did post how fitting it was that we were having our 100th episode, and we have to talk about bad Ferrari strategy.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But yeah. So.
All right.
Weekly news.
Short weekly news.
Weekly news. This was announced today, a little bit ago. Sorry, I lost it. A little bit ago, or earlier today, the FIA confirmed there will be tougher new rear wing deflection tests introduced in China. This now goes back to last year, where everyone thought McLaren had a quote unquote illegal like mini DRS on their rear wing. Obviously they never did anything about it, so I think now more and more teams have mini DRSs, so they're gonna make different, like they're gonna have harder tests, and they're gonna start in China moving forward. So I think we can maybe in China see if they don't make changes quick enough. I don't know if we'll see some penalties or what, but I think we could see something.
Yeah, it should be. It should be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah. So, but the FIA's had to release a statement saying that as has been previously communicated, between the end of 2024 season and the start of 2025 season, the FIA exercised the authority it is granted under Article 3.15.1 of the technical regulations to introduce either new or more challenging loading deflection tests for the front wing, from race 9 Spanish Grand Prix, the upper rear wing, and the beam rear wing. They continue on saying that they had kind of cameras on in the free practice sessions, and you can see a little bit of like a space in between the rear wing and stuff where it is. So I think teams may be taking a little bit of advantage, but I also don't know how much of a change. Like if McLaren was abusing that rule, do we see them get like hit the most if they're not allowed to do this? Like, do we see them get a little bit slower? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Like I said, it definitely is an interesting thing to look out for going into China and everything. But yeah, I don't know. It's like it's still so early in the season that it's like you can't you can't be like, well, this is gonna screw with McLaren's chances. Like it's just all right. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's too early. We didn't see true race pace because it was raining like on Sunday. So, yeah, it is obviously too soon to see, but that was literally really all the weekly news. Like I said, there wasn't a lot, so.
No.
Pit stops, right? We're doing this first?
We're doing this first. I'll say this. Because of how chaotic this was, this race.
Was it like hard to pick?
It was a little hard to pick. Although, what I did boil it down to is how well would you say that you remember this race?
Pretty well. I mean, I was wide awake. At first, when I first was out, I was like, this is going to be hard to get through. But then as chaos was going on, I was like, oh yeah. It took me literally like an hour to calm down before I went to sleep.
Okay. So, because of all the chaos in it, and because of the multiple DNFs, and because of the chaos of putting on inters and putting on hards and everything, all of your questions today are who finished where.
Oh no.
That's all it is literally just who finished where. All right.
Okay.
There's no
Yeah, I
order to
know.
this.
Okay.
There's no kind of. It's just like I picked 5 drivers. Some are easier, some are harder, and go from there. All right.
But I feel like I'm gonna get like close.
So, since this is our first Pints and Pit Stops of the year, I'll give everybody a little rundown of the rules again. So, Pints and Pit Stops is our 5-question trivia game. The Pit Stops portion of it is the trivia game you have to complete as fast as possible. If you get a question wrong, you get second added onto your time. If you get the question right, you get a second subtracted from your time. So you'll have a gross time and a net time. And the pints portion of it is I like new beers. I try new beers. I like to find new brands and flavors to try. I do not have a beer with me today, but typically I do have a beer with me.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, and I didn't have beer a lot last year because I was training for the marathon, and so this year no marathon, which means Owen drinks. Yes. So I will read Casey the first question. After I'm done reading the first question is when her time starts. And then I don't give her the answers in the moment. I just rip through the questions. When she gives me an answer, I go to the next. That's it.
Okay.
Good? Ready?
And in this instance, it's really just going to be asking me the first driver.
It's literally. I'll make this faster for you. I'm just going to give you the driver name.
Okay.
And if they did not finish, you can just say DNF, obviously.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, they're included too? Okay.
All the drivers are included. They're all on the board.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Oh, no.
Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. I got the things wrong in my head.
First one of the season.
Oscar Piastri.
9th.
Gabriel Bortoleto.
He DNF'd.
Alex Albon.
Technically a P4, but then he got a penalty, so it was P5. Or he didn't get a penalty. P10?
Pierre Gasly.
6?
Max Verstappen.
2nd.
All right. That may have been. Was that 6 drivers? Did I give you? No. No, I gave you.
You started with?
I started with Oscar Piastri.
Yep.
Then I went to Gabriel Bortoleto. And then I went to
Alex Albon,
Alex
Ocon,
Albon.
Max Verstappen.
Alex Albon. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. To be fully honest with you, completely forgot to make Pints and Pit Stops today. So that was just looking at the results and picking names.
I knew it.
That's what that was. All right.
Should have known.
So we started with Oscar Piastri. Oh, your gross time is a 25.9.
Mm-hmm.
We started with Oscar Piastri. You said 9th. He did finish in 9th.
Oh, okay.
Well,
where's Alex Albon on the list?
No, this is Alex's penalties included in there because he finished 4th.
He didn't get the penalty. It was Kimi should have gotten the penalty.
Yeah.
But then they took it away. So
yeah. Okay, so you were right with that. Gabriel Bortoleto, he did not finish. You are correct as well in that. So now you're down to a 23.91. Who did I go to after that? Alex Albon. I went to Alex Albon.
Yeah.
You said 4th, but with the penalty, he finished 5th. You were correct on both. So I'm going to give you 2 seconds off on that.
Oh.
So now you're down to a 21.91. Esteban Ocon, what did you say?
I think I said 10th. I did 13. Say 10.
He was 13.
I couldn't remember if they were in the points or not.
So that was 22.91. Max Verstappen, 2nd place, 21.91. Is your final time. That's a good time to kick off 2025 Pints and Pit Stops.
What is it?
21.91.
Perfect. Oh, I should put Australia.
We're not going to be able to list all of that on there.
No.
But
just some.
It's good to have. I would also like to say. Go ahead.
I could write smaller.
Well, we could do I could keep our normal time and then you can keep the fastest up there.
True.
All right. Well, yes, that was our race. That was Pints and Pit Stops for the race. We're going to go into the race recap here. Before we say anything about the race recap, I would just like to say I did something stupid. Which is not necessarily stupid now. So you know this case. What is my one rule for race day? What am I not allowed to do?
What are you not allowed to do?
What am I not allowed to do on race day?
I don't know.
It surrounds McLaren.
Oh, you wore stuff. So you broke it though. You're fine.
Yes.
You broke it.
So last night, little story here. I'm sitting there Saturday and the Sunday night, and I'm watching the race. And when I lock in on the race when it's getting that intense, I'll take the hood of my whatever hoodie I'm wearing and just put it around my mouth and just sit there and stare. And the race finished. Lando crosses the finish line,
and then
I look down and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is my McLaren hoodie!" And I was like, "Holy shit! I just broke my
you broke it
curse with it." So I can wear merch again on the day. I think you were right, Case, when you were originally saying it.
You mixed it. You had a Red Bull hat.
Red Bull and McLaren merch. Yes.
Yeah, you mixed it. You wore your Red Bull Fierce Motorsport baseball jersey and your McLaren hat. You mixed teams.
I mixed teams. I don't think it went well. So yes, now I can wear McLaren merch during the race.
I'm shocked. I thought you were gonna say you realized when they both spun off, when they both ran off, and then you look down and be like, "Oh no!"
No, that was a scary moment, though. That was a scary moment, which we'll get to. But jumping right into it, do you want to go bottom up?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
I think I did pretty well.
Let's see. Just pulling up results side by side. Steak.
Steak Sauber. Nico Hulkenberg.
Scoring points in the first race of the season. Steak. Already doing better than last year.
They're above Ferrari in the standings at the moment.
They are. They are above Ferrari in the standings. That's the funniest fucking thing.
Well, did you see that picture of Nico Hulkenberg standing in front of the Ferrari garage before the race?
No.
He's standing in between because he was I think just hiding out in the rain, but he's in his race thing, and people are now knowing where he finished, this picture goes hard.
Oh, that goes real hard. I love it. Yeah, so Steak currently sits 6th in the championship with a whopping 6 points. Ferrari stands in 7th with 5 points. That is lovely to see it.
Well, Ferrari, and before what?
Do you want me to make you hurt even more?
Yeah, do it now for the Band-Aid.
Ferrari is at the bottom of the point scores.
No, I know. They're literally right before 0.
Yeah, Alpine is 8th with 0 points.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, I was actually pretty impressed with Steak the entire weekend. They look like a different team, I would say. I was so good. I mean, in general, I was gutted for all the rookies at the end of the race.
Yeah, just brutal.
Literally, I was gutted, and then I was so proud of Ollie and Kimmy. But Gabriel Bordello, like I said last week, I think he's good. He looked comfortable in that car.
I think, and again, I feel like the conversations that we're going to have around Gabriel is literally just kind of applied to all the rookies. Is, first of all, what a trial by fire or trial by rain.
Yeah.
It's that being your first race is tough. And
just the entire weekend, the weather was Saturday for qualifying was insanely hot.
Yeah.
The first day was pretty good, and then you had race day where nothing mattered because it was all washed away. Yeah, it trial by fire for sure.
Brutal. But yes, I am excited to see the rookies get to China. I'm happy that it's a back-to-back to start us off, because the drivers that did have a poor weekend can hopefully kind of move past it and just be like, I got another race coming up. That's it. It's not like this is summer break and,
they sit on it for the entire...
Isaac has that moment and he goes and then sits.
Well, and I think what's even better is there's a sprint as well. So
right.
they can
you
get
got
those
2 chances.
few laps. Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to steak, no, I do think they looked good. They're definitely different from last year, I would say. Unless that was their one good weekend for the whole season, and they're gonna dip off the rest of the year. But there was another meme, and it was like Bonato's face, and it was like, "Tell Ferrari it was me," because
It was me. Yeah. I mean, it was a good weekend for them. Like I said, they're already off on a better foot than where they were last year. So you know what?
We had to wait till the end of the season last year.
Right. So just
for points.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah. Keep it moving. You can only go up from here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was also just gutted. Like, Portolato made it so far into the race when he DNF'd. And did you see the slow-mo of that crash, of him crashing?
I don't think I saw the slow-mo.
It's like the track level camera. Someone posted it. Maybe I might have liked this, so I can go back. It is very strange. His like rear suspension breaks before he even crashes. Like as he's spinning,
yes, yeah.
He I guess he did run over the curb, but it's like as he's like spinning, when the car turns the whole rear wing to the back, you see his rear suspension just like cave in, and then that's when the rest of the car was like, okay, and then slides into the wall. It was even. I had F1 TV obviously on, and even like Alex Jason and stuff was like, that's. I think David Coulthard was even like, that was strange. Like, why did it break like that?
I wonder if it was just like a weird situation of like the combination of the force, and then just like a weird angle or like something on the ground just hit at the right spot at the right moment, and it just like kinked something. Like but
it was definitely strange. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what they can do moving forward.
Yeah, it's a hopeful start for them.
Very hopeful.
It's a hopeful start for them. You have the moment. You kind of have to see the race play out like the way the team is constructed right now, where it's like, okay, we had the rookie, he DNF'd in his first race, and you have the veteran scoring points.
Well.
Right. So it's like, okay, I don't think it's a great weekend for them. I don't think it's a bad weekend for them. I think it's, again, they are doing better than they were last year at this point. So just ride with that.
Yeah.
Keep
it going.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Bottas and Joe, who were both in Australia, they're watching and being like, Joe, who's Ferrari reserve driver, seeing the same points. They're probably like, what the hell?
Pissed.
Yeah. They're like, okay. But yes, that was steak. We've already said, I think, more today than we had all last year about steak. So there you go.
I think every one of our race recaps last year for steak, we were just like steak is steak. Like,
we might have talked about them more when we talked about the ceremony for Joe after China last year, and then when Joe finally scored points at the end of this season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was definitely the most prominent times that we talked about them throughout the season.
Yeah. But moving on up the list, Haas.
Haas.
With the way the weekend started for Ollie Bierman, I am proud of him for having a clean race, especially when you see that rain. I just thought of his radios in Brazil right away, and I was like, that kid, the last race he was in Haas was pouring rain, and now he's in a race again. But the fact that he stayed a clean race, finished, didn't crash, didn't have any incidents, was after the start of the weekend, and he had minimal running because of the crashes.
Yes.
Very good for him.
Yeah, I think it was a win for Haas this weekend, even though they didn't score any points. You like you said, you have those two tough sessions of what was it, FP1, and then was it
FP3? Because FP1 they couldn't fix the car in time for FP2, so he didn't run at all. And then again FP3, and then he was out pretty early, or he started qualifying, and then he was like, "There's something wrong," and never went back.
He was having the gearbox issues, right? Yeah.
And then that's when they made the decision, which was smart. They just changed everything.
Yeah.
And they started from the pit lane, and I do think, lap 1 in Australia can be, because it is narrow. Lap 1 in Australia can be pretty. Lap 1 turn run. So him starting in the pit lane, I think, was the best decision because he was back farther from the.
And it's honestly, I wonder how much of that helped with his mentality of
Yep.
just like, like if he instead would have like fucked up the car and then been like, we're trying to keep it as good as we can. Okay, now I'm kind of racing with like a damaged car and I'm starting from the back of the grid. Oh, my weekend's over at that point. At least with the pit lane start, you're kind of like, okay, what, brand new parts, brand new pieces, wash it off the board. Let's go race, and
Yeah.
I think the fact that you put it perfectly, the fact that he had a clean race, he had no incidents, he, kind of stayed off camera, which is what he, to me at least, is a win. It's like, hey, after this start of the weekend, I had a clean race. I didn't stand out. I didn't crash. I didn't do this. Great. Take that.
Yeah.
Go into China. Go into China with that next weekend and just be like, yep, I know I can do this. My clean race was my reset. I'm ready to go for this weekend.
You know what? People were so mean on social media because they were immediately like photoshopping him, like half Mick Schumacher, half him, half Nikita Mazepin because they crash all the time in Haas. But you know what I was thinking? He's so good. I think he might be like, is he pushing that Haas too much? Like he's not in the Ferrari, would might have a little bit better control as it's going into a corner.
That's a good point. That is hard, very impossible to tell from this weekend just because of the external factors of the weekend. But that's a good question. I like that.
Do you put Kimi Antonelli in that car, and is he doing the same thing because he's pushing the car so hard?
Right, he's expecting more out of it than it's able to give him.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he survived, which was the best outcome. Esteban, I think, had a decent. I mean, obviously, he said he finished 13th. He was, by the time everyone finished, he was close to the points, but nothing crazy I have to report on him. It is nice hearing a female race engineer over the TV.
It is cool. I was happy that we got to hear her a little bit, and it's not like the 5th or 6th race down the line and we finally hear her like a Esteban radio. No, I was happy that we got to hear her. I mean, same thing as kind of Ali. Like it was never stand out. It was never like they kind of stayed off camera, and it was like, all right, I think that weighs a little bit more on Esteban than it does Ali, just because of Esteban is a multiple season driver and everything. Like he
just finished a race last year on the podium in the rain, like
right. So it's like the fact that you did nothing kind of weighs more in the negative for him than it does for Ali. But yeah, I think it was an alright race. You want to see Haas get points. I want to see Haas get points just because they're the only American team on the grid. So I was like, represent a little bit. But like you said, you finish. Ali finishes the race and stays out of trouble and everything. All right, cool, good work. Go to next weekend.
Yeah, and this is totally random. Did you think the radios we heard on the broadcast were so clear?
I could hear them a lot better this year.
I could hear them so much better. Even Charles underwater, I could hear them so much better.
I could hear them a lot better, and it seemed like a lot of them had the transcripts on it.
Yeah, so that's what maybe I'm thinking with the new service. Like, does that kind of improve the radios on our side, like the F1?
I mean, it
TV,
would be
4K, whatever.
It would be nice.
Or the Pro. Yeah, no, I remember the first radio came over the TV, and I was like, wow, that's. Sometimes they sound like they're mumbling. I'm like, I don't know what you just said. Like, I have no idea. But yeah, I can't really say much more about Haas. Williams, let me just give you a round of applause, Williams.
Fucking what a race for Williams, man. I mean, I just it sucks for Carlos, first of all. It
sucks for Carlos, but
sucks just because it's like this is your first race to debut with Williams.
After he did so well during FP1, FP2 qualifying, they looked so. I mean, he was top of the timing sheet for so long in F1.
Right.
Well, I did see Alex Albon fans on Twitter when the next few sessions came up, and they were still doing well, but wasn't as up high up before. People were welcome to Williams. We have one glory on every every race weekend, one practice session, and that's it for the rest
and that's
weekend.
it.
But,
yeah.
I mean, Alex looked it kind of goes off of what we also said what we said
I
last
was
week.
just about to bring that up. Yeah.
Alex looked good. I know Carlos was playing strategist on the pit wall as soon as he was able to get out of the car and get changed and stuff.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
no, they've all James, Alex. They're like we're crediting how well we did that race to Carlos. If
Yeah.
Carlos doesn't become a strategist or a team principal when he's done, he's stupid.
Yeah.
He's meant for it, but no, when Alex was P4, he was almost on the podium. I was like, I will cry. I will cry if he's P3.
I so desperately wanted it. And I
Mhm.
remember too looking at the leaderboard and reading the times wrong because I thought he was like 2 seconds behind or something like that, whoever he was chasing, or George. And I was like, he's not that close. And then I realized, I'm like, oh wait, no, he's fucking he is like 0.3 seconds behind. Like he's within a second. And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Well, and kept Lewis behind for a very, very long
yes.
time.
Yeah.
He almost the entire race.
He did. Alex really, regardless of if he knew the car, well, he knew that Carlos crashed, but like, regardless of this is like how he drove because of Carlos crashing and everything, he put Williams on his back this weekend and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do what you guys obviously pay me to do, and I'm gonna do it fucking well. And
yeah,
here you go. You know.
No, I was happy. I mean, James in the beginning of the weekend was like, ideally, our expectation is to be top 10, top 5 at the end of a race.
It's huge. It's huge.
And you didn't get there with Alex was top 5 for the entire race. He didn't get there like because someone crashed behind him and he was able to move up. No, Alex stayed there.
Yeah.
Drove well with Lewis on his ass, with Antonelli on his ass for most of the race.
He did not stumble into that position. He earned that P5 and he got it. Like
he earned that P4 as well until
he earned the P4.
Until Williams had for right to review and then it get reapproved.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he did such a good job. Does make me exciting to see what Williams is like this upcoming weekend, obviously going forward. So. And I have to say, it's so hard to tell the difference between the 2 shades of blue with the cars on track on the TV, but I still like the shades. I do like the blue. It's still nice.
The blue looks good. It's definitely, like I said, I said this when we were like judging the liveries, but I was like, I really like the lighter blue better than the dark blue shade of it. That still rings true, but it's still, the car looks good on track. I think it looks,
It's just if they get rid of that stupid battery, that's when I'll lose it. But but yes, moving on to Alpine. Sorry, I'm bringing up the board. Well, obviously Jack doing second victim of the race.
Yeah, it's just like, again, it's like the same sentiments as I said with like Gabrielle and everything. Like it sucks to see. It sucks to see it in your rookie debut race, your
home race,
full season race, your home race, and it's just like you hurt for all the rookies this weekend. You know, it was just like we were kind of expecting a bloodbath because of the rain and everything, but I wasn't expecting it to be this many rookies to get caught in the bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, damn, like
yeah. And I mean, he held his own into Q2 as well.
Yeah,
Jack. Like he was making like, I deserve this seat.
Right.
This is my seat.
I can drive this car. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop asking me questions about how many races do I have under this contract.
Right.
But yeah, no, he looks good. I mean, and Gasly, as you expect, I feel like at this point for Gasly to look good in that car, he's now the veteran on Alpine. He should look good in that car. He should look comfortable. He should be the leader on that team. And I mean, he did. I mean, they were very close to the points, but the Alpine just didn't look good in the rain this time.
Yeah, which you went from a car last year at Alpine where both drivers were like, "This car sucks. Like this is a shitty car." To you finished 11th. You know, it's like, all right, you're right there. Like
you're right. You're right there.
you're literally like on the door of points, and it's like, all right, we got it. Go up to the next race. You know, that can be chalked up to for Pierre. Like, okay, first race, you got the first one out of the way. Now you know what to do for the rest of the season. You know, here you go. So, yeah, decent race. Like I said, I think Pierre, other than Jack, same thing. Pierre, like, kind of just like nothing stand out, nothing crazy.
Just like Ocon, yeah, it was like not.
Yeah.
I feel like I also wasn't really paying attention to Pierre because I was focused more on Jack and everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Within there, but yeah, I mean, a decent race for them.
Yeah.
I think the next team I might be the most surprised about on two opposite ends. I could maybe spend the most time in the episode talking about the Racing Bulls V-Carb, the junior team. First of all, Yuki, man, Yuki. I know you didn't finish Drive to Survive yet, but there is a line Christian Horner, hate the man, but Christian Horner says something about like how Liam has like a fire lit under his ass, but it's like lit by like gasoline, like basically ready to explode. I think Yuki might be like, yeah, I'm just out to prove everyone wrong this season.
Yuki is on a revenge arc for this season.
While he's still there.
Yes. He is, you can tell that man is driving with a purpose more than just, I want to win. And it's, I want to prove somebody wrong. And it's like, that is honestly like, that might be more than I want to win. That might carry him more than I want to win, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I want to win, but I need to be in a better car to do it, and you fucked me over out of that better car. Like,
and I know they're two different cars. I know they're technically two different teams. Dare I say they looked a little more comfortable in that car than the Red Bulls looked in their car.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they just looked just a little more comfortable. I will say I was cracking up Yuki's post-race radio. And they're like, obviously, he's like, they tell him where he finished and all stuff, and he's like, ice latte's working, baby. I told you, ice latte.
He's better start doing it. Start doing it every race.
Not like that man needs any energy. I feel like he's like the Energizer bunny. No. But, yeah, I mean, I was happy to see Yuki. Where did he end up finishing? Oh, he ended up finishing P12, but
yeah,
on the start, though, he did get both Ferraris passed him on the start pretty early, if I remember correctly.
He started fifth.
Yeah.
So not like the best race in terms of if you're looking strictly positioning. Yeah. But granted everything else that happened in the race, it's like,
well, I also think he was, when the Ferrari stayed out longer on their tires than they should have, I think he was also another one that stayed out too long. So then he got caught in the late pit stop. But yeah, I mean, still great qualifying for him. If we're going to see a qualifying like that from him every single weekend,
I think
I would love to see what he's like in normal race conditions.
The conversation around Yuki will really pick up if he does the same sort of qualifying next section. If he can do that again, people will be like, oh shit. Like,
oh, Yuki's here. I think at one point we had Lewis in first, Yuki in second, and Alex in third, and I was like, that's a dream podium.
That is an awesome podium. Make that, stop the count right there.
Call the race. Red flag. You can't continue. These are winners. That would have been hilarious. Yuki on P2 would have been as tall as Alex on P3.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, no, I was happy for Yuki, and then you get to the most heartbreaking storyline of the entire weekend.
Like, way for the world just to like rip everybody's heart out. Like,
literally, I was almost ready to be in tears for him. I felt so bad. And then they kept cutting to him, and he's literally, you can tell he's crying in the helmet. Stop showing us the kid with his head down, his hands in his helmet. It was... you hate when I do this. I obviously had live timing up on my computer. Yeah. And obviously it's a formation lap, and the yellow flag comes up, and I'm like, why is there a yellow flag? It's a formation lap. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And like the live timing was a little like glitchy on the computer during the race, so I couldn't normally I can see like who stopped their dot on the tracker. So I was like, who is it? And then I saw Isaac, and I was like, no, not Isaac.
Yeah, God almighty. I feel bad saying this, but like when he first went into the wall, my mindset was like, oh man, that sucks. And that's just because I'm like just watching them on TV, so I'm like disconnected from them. And then they cut to him like walking back and he's in tears, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like,
well, then they cut again, and then they show Lewis's father, who was in the Ferrari garage, clearly books it out of the Ferrari garage. And like that, the footage of him like walking up to Isaac, and Isaac fully has his head down, and I was like, Isaac looks up, realizes who it is, and then like collapses into
the video of him like hugging him. Oh my God. Yeah, I was very upset at that.
Yeah.
Definitely brutal to watch. But again, I'm really hoping that Isaac mentally can just be like, okay, that happened. That sucked. I hated that. Let's make sure it doesn't happen in China. Like,
I'm excited to see. I mean, but even before, he was having like a good quiet weekend, a good clean weekend before then. He was just keeping his head down, having a clean race. Up until then, he was the cleanest rookie on track, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he was having a good debut, and then not even one lap in, I was like, oh my God. And then you have stupid Helmut Marko and his comments post.
Yeah.
I mean, needs to retire.
I can't fathom anybody saying don't cry or like, oh, that was embarrassing, when this is a kid. He's still a kid.
Well, he literally said he put on a tearful show.
Yeah.
And that was a bit embarrassing. No.
If he put on a tearful show, he would have ripped his helmet off. He would have been screaming, like making a whole big show out of it. No, he walked back to his garage. He kept his head down. The only time it became like a thing is when Anthony Hamilton came over. And that was a moment of good, because it was like, this is great. This is so nice of this man to come over and console this kid who is in his first F1 race, has worked for this his entire life, and just crashed out before the race could even begin.
Yeah, and I feel like he knows, like in that rookie roundtable video, or not that, Visa put out great content all week with like little interview clips with the 4 Red Bull guys, Max and stuff. And they start talking about like radios at one point, and they're like low-key making fun of Isaac because of his radios, because he is so passionate over the radio, and he's like, oh, like you can tell he knows, like he wants to come in F1. It's a clean slate. He wants to start over. He wants to make a name for himself, not be known as the over emotional kid over the radio. But yeah, it's Helmut Marko's comments pissed me off. I saw someone talking there like, it's not 20 years ago. Like, this is not the Michael Schumacher years. Like, let the kid show emotion. It's
the kid
making him. He's not perfect. That's how we know. Like, the kid knows he's not. Like, and that was more of a relatable moment.
He knows that he fucked up. That's why he's so sad. You know, like he knows in his head. He's probably not mad that the situation happened. He's probably mad at himself for causing it to happen. You know, it's like, I think it's a brutal. Again, I mean, it's Helmut Marko. What do you expect? But it's just like.
Well, I mean, he went into the weekend, like, I don't know where it was, but he rated all the rookies and was like, Gabriel Bortoleto, like a B driver. The kid just won the F2 championship and F3 on his rookie years, and both.
No.
He like said Jack 2, and he was like a D-list driver. I feel like that's why I feel like all the rookies went in being like, okay, bet you want to see that's like Bortoleto outqualified Liam Lawson. Be like, okay, like I can do my talking on the track. Yeah, no, I mean, Horner did have some nice comments being like it was gut-wrenching and stuff, but I also it did interview Lewis's dad post-race. And I remember seeing comments before, like Checo's dad before stated he's like, the reason why he's like, I've gotten so close with Lewis's dad, he was like, because when I wasn't there during Checo's rookie year, Lewis's dad was always making sure Checo was okay. If something bad happened on track, he went and checked on him. Like, that's what, like, he gets it. And that's when the Anthony Hamilton was like, I just felt bad for him. I felt bad for his family. He's been working his entire life to
Right.
have this one
Yeah.
debut in F1, and it's over not even a few turns.
Right. Your debut race is over before it even started.
Yeah.
Like,
there were pictures that came out later. It looks like Lewis's dad went back and saw Isaac after the race. Like,
I'm sure. I mean, if
V-Carb's like facility, like went over and was talking to him again.
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anybody's going to tell Anthony Hamilton like, no, you can't be in here.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, not like, but yeah, I mean, it's just like a brutal situation for Isaac. Like I said, I'm
excited to see what he does this weekend.
Like, I feel for that so bad and so much and everything. It's just like, fuck, like that hurts. But it's just like, it all depends now on how Isaac can just like accept that that's what happened and then just be like, all right, fuck all of you. I'm going to show you what I can do this weekend now. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like we're gonna see like elbows out. He's ready to show what he's actually why he's up. Yeah, no, I felt so bad for the kids, so bad. Moving on. Aston Martin, which was like, on one hand, you had the other rookie crash out. The rookie.
The rookie crash out.
That's not when he crashed. I was like, oh my god, it's going after all the rookies.
It's all of them. All of them. They all were in a bloodbath. It was unfair.
Yeah. And then you had Lance Stroll.
Yeah. What the fuck?
P6.
What the fuck?
Like,
I'll be completely honest here. And this is like, I don't pay attention to Lance Stroll during races. The most I paid attention to Aston Martin during that race was Alonso's crash. That was it. So I don't know if Lance stumbled upon that P6. I don't know if he got to that like what happened for him to get to that P6. I have no idea. I think it's great for him. I want everybody to win.
He started P13. P13. So
that's good. That's really good for Lance. I'll give him that. That's really good. I think it's you know what? It's great to see. Like I said, I don't want anybody to not do well in this sport. I know I've shit on Lance a couple of times, but like,
well, everyone has.
Yeah, but I don't want I want to see him succeed. So, and I did really enjoy his radio message at the end of the race.
After.
Yeah, because you can hear it in his voice how much it means to him.
I've never heard him with so much emotion. Like,
when he screams yes.
Yeah.
It's like, this is almost like you just like won a race. Like that's how much it means to you just to get this to this position. It's like, great. I love it. I can't not be happy with that, you know?
Yeah. No, he did. I was excited for him. Like you said, you could tell it meant a lot.
Meant a lot. Yeah.
I mean, the last race we had in the rain was Brazil when he beached himself and then
went
in the gravel more instead of turning around. So yes, obviously he does. People like to make fun of him, but I was very excited to see him where he finished. That posting that radio message though brought out the craziest people on social media. The haters were alive and well.
Really?
Posted that one. Oh, there's a mix of people under that post with the radio, being like, someone commented like as a fan, someone's like Lance Stroll's fans, and then obviously someone tagged like Formula One and stuff. But yeah, I'm happy for the Lance fans. They deserve one.
They deserve a win.
Yes. Yeah. Mercedes. If I had a nickel for every time George Russell stumbles upon a podium, I would be loaded.
This man just can't help but be in the right place at the right time. Like,
I'm sorry, but out of the two Mercedes drivers, I think Antonelli might have deserved the podium a little more.
Considering how well that fucking race that he had, Antonelli. I mean, he went what, P15 to P4, P5?
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, hold on. He started P16. Yeah. He started P16, finished P4.
That's crazy.
Did you see? I posted the clip. His overtake on Alex Albon.
Oh yes.
He doesn't even he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think just because of timing of races and stuff, it's so hard to catch F2 because of how early they are, like during the European races and everything. But I think people are saying the kid does love racing in the rain. Like, I feel like he might be a Max and loves racing in the rain.
Somebody, you know what? I thought I heard the broadcast also say that before the
Yeah,
race
they might have.
started. Yeah.
Well, I think there's it's the clip of him, right, in Spa, where he goes like around two people, in between two people.
He stays like flat out.
Ollie and someone else. Yeah. And overtakes. Yeah. The kid's getting a podium sooner rather than later.
Oh, absolutely.
He's good.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's a lot of stories within this race that could serve as potential like microcosms for the season as a whole. And one of them is this performance by Kimi. And the fact that, like, I have no doubt in my mind now that you're right, that he is going to get a pole. Yeah. He is, like...
He's going to be on the podium. He's going to win a race. He's good.
He's good.
It's also... It does confirm more that the Mercedes does like cool weather conditions. Mm-hmm. Always has, always will. The next cool race... Like,
God, 100 episodes and we still don't know the fucking mute the mic when we go to sneeze.
I couldn't get it. I was too far away.
Oh my God.
I also thought I was going to be able to hold it in, but clearly not. No, what I was saying, like the next cool weather race, if there's rain coming in the next few races, I'm paying attention to the weather and saying he's going to be on the podium because I think he'll be on the podium. But yes, I can't say much about George. He didn't really like the other ones, like Esteban and like Pierre. I wasn't paying attention to George. I was paying attention to Kimi.
Yeah, I was more so watching Kimi and trying to follow along with his performance and everything, but. Yeah, I
do think Kimi's going to give him a run for his money.
Yeah. I will say this. I think this year we're going to have some of the most diverse podiums in terms of teams.
No, I agree because I think some of the midfield might sneak up onto the podium.
Yeah. Like, I definitely think we're going to see Williams on a podium this year.
You do.
I think that's going to happen. Because, Alex just got P5, P4 before his penalty.
And qualified in hot weather.
Race. Right.
Yeah, qualified in hot weather, it's not like he snuck up there. He stayed in that one same spot the entire race. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
I think it happens.
But yeah, Mark, great for Kimi. George is George.
Yeah, can't really tell you much. Besides standing in front of Yuki.
Yeah.
Red Bull. I mean, it wasn't obviously Max finished P2, and you haven't gotten to the end of Drive to Survive, but like the episode where they talk about it's Will Buxton, I think, has the quote and says Max is the reason he won the championship. The team didn't help him, that car didn't help him.
Yeah.
It's purely Max. If Max wins the championship again this season, it's because of his pure talent, because that car was not good all weekend.
He did not love the car all weekend. He wasn't his normal, really negative Max self.
No.
But he definitely wasn't, it was no, I mean, neither was last year's car, but it was no RB19, It was like, yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me, I'm thrilled with Lando's win, but it's really hard for me to think that this is going to become the new norm when you just because of Max. It's just he will a car to the finish line. And
he's I mean, I think also if he was a little bit closer when both McLarens ran off, he was going to take the lead.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
He would have taken the lead and ran away with the win. Yeah, no, I mean, and then you had Liam on the other hand, who also didn't have the cleanest weekend, but he did have some issues with his car as well. So, also didn't qualify, didn't even finish. Oh, no, he did qualify, right? Or I can't remember. But then
I can't
they
remember
also
either.
started him from the pit lane as well. Wow, that was
Yeah.
an insane breakaway. Sorry, it was Kucherov and it was
You tell
insane.
Casey's watching the Flyers game in the background.
But yeah, that is. I can't really say much actually about Red Bull. It was like a okay weekend.
I can't say
I
much
do
either.
think I think there's a curse of that second seat. It's now been brought up, but there is 100% a curse in that second seat, and it started the minute Daniel Ricciardo left.
Yeah, I think I really gotta see Liam Lawson do something this upcoming weekend in China. You gotta do something, man. I mean, I'm sorry, I just got like 3 hiccups in a row. I know it's the first race, and the external factors in this race were very, very abundant. So that's the thing. I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but yes, it is. When you have Max finishing P2 and
dragging that car across the finish line,
DNF, shit! What is this? And right now, it's just the only factor that you can clearly say this is why it's happening is because of Max.
And I think that's gonna be the continued reason. But
yeah.
Wait, I was just thinking. Since Daniel Ricciardo's left Red Bull, you've had Pierre, you've had Alex, you've had Checo. Now Liam. Okay, yeah, that's 4 people since.
Since 2019.
Yeah, Checo was held it for the longest time, but he clearly should have been taken out last year. Yeah, no, there's definitely a curse. That
sigh just says it all. That was golden.
We can move on. That's all I gotta say about Ferrari.
That's it? That's all you want to say?
No, I won't. I won't just sit there. I mean, I don't know. They looked so good during practice sessions.
Yeah.
They looked happy. People were like, Lewis is washed up. Lewis is in literally the only the 5th time he's driven that car on a track. And again, the conditions were out of control. He's working with a new race engineer over the radio, all this stuff. He's gonna take 1 or 2 races to get comfortable. I think what's at Bahrain, if Japan and China are normal conditions, I think by Bahrain we see true Lewis in Ferrari potential.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking the same thing. If in Bahrain, if the first 4 races are a repeat of what we saw this weekend, then it's time to be like, well, shit. Are we in trouble? And I don't think it's a Lewis thing. I don't think it's a Lewis thing at all. I think it would be a Ferrari thing at that point.
Because qualifying, or the beginning of qualifying at FP3, he was not far off Charles. No. You saw him getting, in normal conditions, he was getting more and more comfortable within that seat. And then qualifying just screwed them both up.
Yep.
Quite frankly. But yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. People are like, he needs to know when it's time to retire. I'm sorry, he's not close to retiring.
He's nowhere near it. Right.
No. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know really what else to say about them. They got it wrong. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've seen mixed things. I've seen that Charles did ask the pit and they told him no, stay out there. I need to go back and watch just Charles onboards at that time near the end of the race. And then I've heard that Lewis wanted to stay out. But then I've also heard the difference that the team said to both of them, you're coming in the pit, and they were like, no, we want to stay out. So I don't know. I just don't know what to think. But at the end of the day, I think Ferrari should have been like, no, come in now. They were the ones with the data. They were the ones seeing everyone else coming in. If they both pitted, we probably would have had a double Ferrari podium.
Probably. It would have been a totally different story.
Yeah. It was when they... Well, it was just they were okay running throughout the whole beginning. It wasn't anything crazy or exciting. But then when they just effed up the strategy, I was like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
And
back. That's what all the Charles fans were like, welcome, Lewis. First time of a
welcome,
Ferrari strategy. Yeah, and I mean, there's been so much talk about the way Lewis was talking to Ricky on over the radio as well, and I do think Martin Brundle might have started the comments over on Sky on their race coverage, um, basically saying that Lewis is being like mean and rude, and he shouldn't be talking to his race engineer in that way. I've heard drivers be ruder to their
Yeah,
race engineers over the radio.
that was not rude considering
No.
what Lewis was doing and what the conditions were.
And what he was being told, like
Yeah.
the dude doesn't need to be told everything twice, and that's when Lewis very kindly said, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Over the radio.
Yeah, it was the polite way of, dude,
Yeah.
stop telling me. I know.
You don't need to tell a 7, aka 8 world champion, like time champion, how to drive the car. The dude knows how to drive the car. But I mean, even Lewis said afterward it's a learning curve. He's been working with Bono for how many years? That man knew if Lewis is breathing wrong in the car, something was wrong. There is a Twitter account that's like a Lewis Twitter account. They've been posting all day different back and forth from like 2013 of Lewis and Bono, like when they first started working. And Lewis is straight up and telling them, being like, I don't need all this information. Like, stop telling me this. So it's going to take time.
It's going to take time. Lewis was with Mercedes for so long. So it's like, it's not just going to be one race and, oh, look at that. Him and whoever are best buds and they were like, no, not going to happen. Give it some time. Like I said, I'll even say this. If you wait the first 5 races and then be like, okay, we're either going code red or all right, we're good. Like
that's what I said. And like maybe Ricky's never been a great race engineer, but when you have Carlos in the car who is good at race strategies, even when he's mid-race, made him look a little better. So like, of course, it's maybe blinders on, but yeah, if it doesn't work well, I see them making a change.
I can see it. Yeah.
Lewis was probably like, Bono, can you ditch Kimmy and come on over?
Get over here, Bono.
I need you now. But yes. Sorry. Messages. McLaren, go ahead, take it away.
Great race. I was very the short burst of terror that went through
when they both went off.
When they slid off, my immediate thought was, "This is it. This is it. This is a moment." I flash forward 23 races to McLaren losing the Constructors' Championship and Lando losing the Drivers' Championship, and that moment right there being a key moment in that. And I can't believe they recovered it. I can't believe that Oscar pulled that performance in the last 3 laps? 2 laps?
Yeah, and I think I've watched every single angle of everyone in those grandstands of when he pulls himself off the grass. I think I've watched every video.
That's gonna be like a motivational video for me now. Like,
I know you're not on TikTok, but there's like it's Northern Attitude with no Khan, but the Hosier version, and Hosier is like it's like the scream, the yell that he does. So there's all this trying to be like, this feels like a Hosier yell moment, and people are posting it to that when he pulls out onto the track, and you hear the crowd screaming for him. It's so good. It gives me chills.
I saw the one angle I saw today was right in front of him, and Oscar goes onto the grass, and you start seeing him spin backwards and start making progress. And there's this guy. I loved it because it made me so excited. He comes running down to the fence. He's got a beer in one hand, and the other hand, he's just like, yeah. And I was like, yes. Like, that's exactly it. That's how everybody felt in that moment. And I loved Oscar's tenacity of like, fuck you, I'm not letting this happen on my season opener or in my home country. Like, not letting this happen. And then he goes on, he puts on a fucking masterclass.
Oh, he came back so fast. Yeah.
To finish 9th from 13th, I think he fell down to.
Yeah, by that point there was
to get your 9th place, you fucking overtook Lewis Hamilton.
True.
Like, oh god, it was a great.
Have you seen the clip of the fan video of that overtake?
Oh yes. That is all over my Instagram.
I've seen enough. Give them overtake of the year. That's literally.
It was so good, and everything that was like the weight behind it and everything too was beautiful, and it was just, I am thrilled that Lando kind of first race of the season, he
Gets to
starts
win.
pole and he wins from pole. So it
Mhm.
helps with that conversation of Lando never converts poles and everything. Now, granted, he could get pole 5 more times this year and then never win any of those races, but still.
Well, and I messaged Frey. Aced every single restart.
Aced all of them. Did so well.
With Max behind him, with Oscar behind him, he did so well to every single restart.
He pulled off really well on each restart. He picked the perfect moment to start again.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an article and I saw a couple tweets, and it was just people saying, are we getting Lando 2.0 this year? Are we getting a good dominant Lando and everything?
He did seem very calm over the radio as well.
All of his radios were very boom, boom.
Yeah.
But I almost wonder, and I'm going to toot my own horn here, but when he won in Miami, I said, I think this is the opening of the floodgates. I think he's going to start winning now, and he's going to start doing better and everything. And I think part of that happened last season. I think it's happening more this year because he's already got a couple wins last season, and he had that close-ish championship battle with Max towards the end of the season. So I think he knows now. I think he knows
he
what
can
it
do
needs. Yeah, what it takes to win that driver's championship. So I think in his head, last season was I know winning driver's championship is going to be hard and it's going to be a tough battle and it's going to be a lot of fun though and everything. No, now he's oh no, this is a grind from race 1 to race 24.
And he I feel like he's finally accepting that he does have a rocket ship underneath of him as well.
Yes.
He kept denying it for so long, and people were like, Lando, you got a rocket ship.
There's part of me that has to wonder, was part of that fear because of almost their mid-season development 2 seasons ago was great. And I wonder if there was an inverse fear of what happens if the opposite happens. Oh shit, now the car takes a turn for the worst, and now we're back fighting for 12th, 13th, 14th, instead of first and constructors champs and drivers champs and everything. So it's, like I said, though, great season. Jesus, great season.
Great season. See ya.
Finish the year already. Great race.
I was they're leading championship, both championships.
I'm done. Yeah, we're good. Great race. I loved it. The fact that Max was breathing down his neck, those last couple laps, I was freaking out. But I was kind of hoping that once he started the last lap and he got past that DRS on the start finish line, he would be okay. And he was. And I was like, you know what? That's great. I will take an opening win. I'll take a beautiful comeback race from Oscar. So I liked it. I think I'm really similar to what we said with Lewis and the first 5 races. If the first 3 or 4, I'll say 5 too, just to keep it equal. Actually, the first 5 races we see this Lando performance pretty consistently.
It was clearly it was going to be a McLaren 1-2 until they both ran off as well. So I think first 5 races, if you're seeing a McLaren dominance, which I think we might, it'll be a change of pace for sure after the past few years with Red Bull.
Oh yeah.
But yes, do you have anything else to add from the race?
I do not. It's just what a fucking way to open the season.
Yeah, what a chaotic way.
Everything we could have asked for in an opening season race.
Yeah. It was a perfect opening race. But yes, moving on to some predictions. We'll keep this short and sweet. We have a few questions for what's it called as well. So, but
we'll rip through them.
We'll rip through them. But predictions. We're gonna do both China sprint and race.
Yep.
And then we're going to also do the Thermal Club, which is IndyCar's race this weekend. They're back finally, second race of the season. The Thermal Club, I think, is out. I think it's out in California.
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
It's 65 laps. I'll make a little video for that as well. But it's a cool little. It looks like an E, like looks like this. So it's like a lot of different like cool different turns. Last year this race was it was boring to watch on TV for sure, and it was totally different. It was for no points. It was all for money. Like they won $1 million, and there was no fans, so it was weird to watch no fans at a race on TV. And then like Roman Grosjean crashed into someone, I think Scott Dixon, and then like they were pissed because they just crashed and had to spend all this money for like all this stuff, and there was no points or
No points.
The only reward was the money. Yeah, so they reworked it. There's fans this year. It's now for points. So we'll do thermal as well. Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, let's do thermal first, and then China.
Yeah, this says, I'll read you the little snippet from the IndyCar's website. So it says the Twin Palms layout at the Thermal Club is 3.067 miles raceway, which includes most of the South Palm circuit and adds a highly demanding trajectory on top to get a total of 17 turns. The layout consists of sweepers, tight corners, long straightaways, and elevation changes, providing a proper driving and engineering challenge to teams.
Okay.
Yes, I think last year, I think it was Newgarden that won last year. Because it was the first race back after they were disqualified from St. Pete.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first because I will just rip through it. I'm gonna go Pato Award, Joseph Newgarden, Scotty Mack.
Good. That's good.
That's what I'm going.
I'm also gonna do Pato. I finished first. I'm gonna do Colton Herta second. I think he bounces back after the crazy strategy mess up from last season or last race. And then I'll do who else? They're all so fast. I'll do Scott Dixon again. I'll do
They're all so fast.
Pato,
All right, I like it.
Colton, Scott Dixon. That's
very good.
Club. F1 sprint. I can go first if you want me to.
Yeah, you go first.
I'll do sprint first. I'm going to stick with my sprint pick, Oscar Piastri. The kid loves sprint race. I think
he does
P1.
love a sprint race.
P1 Oscar, P2 Max, and you know what? P3 Kimi Antonelli for sprint.
All right. Oh, we're going an early podium for Kimi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go with that just for a sprint.
Sprint race. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm going. Lando's gonna get another first, and this will be his. Well, no. Did he win a sprint race before? Has he won a sprint race?
I think so. Oscar has, but then I think he did also as well last year at one point.
Did Lando win Coda last year?
I think so. Not Miami, because that's where you didn't see him.
Yeah, that's where you fucking crash out. You know what? I'm still gonna go Lando first place. I'm gonna go. I'm going McLaren 1-2. You know they're gonna come back from the beginning from what happened this past week. They're gonna make up for it, and then I'll go a Max P3. I'll go a boring podium for the sprint. I think for the GP, if the weather
I was looking. Oh no, it was Max Carlos Lando.
Oh, okay.
Charles P4.
If the weather is nice this weekend,
it is supposed to be nice.
I'm gonna go. See, I don't know. I'm so nervous making this pick, but fuck it, who cares? Lewis P1.
Oh my god.
Lewis P1, and then I'll go Max and Lando P2, P3.
Okay. I'm going to do Max P1. I think the phenomenon we talked about last year where Charles doesn't maybe have a good sprint race and then looks at what he did wrong and applies it to that, like Coda. He finished P4 Coda sprint race and then had an insane race. So I'm going to do Max, Charles. I'll stick with it. Max, Charles, Lewis. Double Ferrari, because then they'll get all those points and come right back up.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be huge.
Make it a tight fight. Yeah.
That'd be very huge for them.
But yes, that was our picks. Threads.
F1
threads. before we get into this, we didn't talk about this. There's a new curse within F1. Did you see my post about the Australia curse?
Yes.
So
I want.
for those that don't know, Owen's not going to watch Australia next year. That's what I'm getting ready to say. So for those that don't know, in obviously 2022, Charles Leclerc won Australia. 2023, he DNF'd. 2023, Max Verstappen won Australia. 2024 is when his brakes caught on fire in the pit lane. DNF'd. 2024, Carlos Sainz won Australia. 2025, DNF'd.
Carlos DNFs.
Yeah. It's like the new Monza curse.
Unless it's removed by the new regulations next year.
Oh, okay.
Unless.
Okay.
It's the only
F1
one way to
threads.
find out.
We'll make this quick. F1 threads.
Let's rip through 'em.
Well, I'll start off the first question from this lady named Kelly. She wants to know what's the name of your favorite mom.
What's the name of my favorite mom? Again,
Yeah.
This is a loaded question.
True.
This is a loaded question. Her name is Kelly. That is
She's the one that listens.
the one that what?
Listens to the show.
Oh, her name is Luigi.
Oh no, I was saying same mom because mom listens every week.
Oh, yeah, mom listens every week. That's yes.
So mom.
Yes.
Kelly.
Mom. Kelly.
Yeah, I guess I'll stay with Kelly.
Yeah.
These next two questions both come from Abraham on Threads. Should Australia GP be the first race of the season? I think yes.
Yes, I think even without the rain, if we didn't have any rain, it would have been a really good race.
Yeah.
Not that
because Australia's always a good race.
Yeah, Australia's a lot of fun.
Last year we had George crashed, the Alpines took each other out. Australia's always because it's so narrow, so when they try to overtake, it's so much harder. But
I also selfishly love that it's one of the earliest races for us to watch.
Yeah, China's rough.
China, I think, is the roughest one.
Yeah, it is.
But the fact that we're knocking out Australia and China right away is pretty big.
But yes, I think, and for the fans, it's just their fans are so passionate in Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing a pin could have dropped. You heard people breathing when Oscar ran off because they thought he was out of the race. And then when they saw him start to move, like we said, just cheering in super loud. His second question is, what about the removal of the fastest lap point? That's obviously a change. This first race of the season didn't matter. Lando did get it, but there's no point awarded.
So that's, you know what? I didn't even think of that in the race because nobody was talking about it.
Yeah, because it didn't really.
It doesn't matter.
The only time they mentioned fastest lap was because Lando and Oscar were just exchanging fastest laps.
Yeah.
But there was no point. It didn't matter. I
think the only time that it's really gonna matter is when there's big track evolution, and you can really tell when times start going down, because then you'll just start seeing it. Lando fastest time, Max fastest time, Charles fastest time. All this.
So that's very satisfying when they all just get in.
Right, and they all start. Yeah, but
I also think I don't miss that there was no point. I think as the season goes on, say if McLaren and Ferrari are super close again, and it literally comes down to a point where it could have been the fastest lap.
Yeah,
that's when it'll be missed.
It's a good point.
I don't mind it. This is from Chris. We love Chris. What was your favorite moment of the weekend? I think it's the second part where we kind of answered already, so we can quickly.
You know what? I gotta say, Anthony Hamilton consoling Isaac. I think it takes
human emotion
an extremely kind and considerate person to go over and console somebody like that when what feels like Isaac's world is just collapsing on him.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great moment. I think it was an awesome to see in the beginning of the season, and it just Yeah.
No, I agree. That might be. I think that, and then just seeing just all the rookies in general. I was just excited for all the rookies, seeing what they could do. Heartbroken for those that didn't finish. But yeah, I think that would be the most. And then his second part of the question, like I said, we already kind of answered. What do you think of Yuki's qualifying performance? I mean, it was
I think it's great. I love to see it. Like I said, I think
balls to the
Yuki,
wall.
Yuki is driving balls to the wall with a vengeance this year. And like I said, I think the mantra in his head of I'm going to prove you wrong is carrying a little bit more weight and pushing him a little bit farther than just I want to win a race.
Yeah. Sorry, Adam just posted. If everyone was wondering if they had a worse F1 fantasy team, I'd like to share this gem with you. Someone got negative 94 points.
Oh, what do they have?
Is that
all
him?
rookies?
It's Liam Bortoleto. Yeah, it's all rookies, including Alonso.
Oh,
That's awful. That's awful. But yes, and obviously, where did you finish fantasy-wise in the rankings? I can look.
I am 20th right now.
I think I'm like 48th.
I am 20th in our league. I posted our first top 10 today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 58th.
Damn.
I think Dad was above me.
Yes, I'm 20th right now. We also, I want to say this too. I know we're at the end of the episode here, and I know we're like running over, but I want to say this too. The fact that we have 129 people in this fantasy league is insane to me. And again, just a huge thank you. It means the world to us and everything. So thank you for everybody who joined. Hopefully we will be able to have some prizes this year.
Yeah, we will.
We are working on it and everything. So, but yes, thank you. I scored.
Sorry, Red.
No, I scored 100. I scored 200 and. Oh no! The highest point. So first place, Katie Collins, 226. She used a no negative chip.
Oh, that was a genius.
Smart.
That was actually probably the smartest chip to use.
Yeah.
If this is early enough, this episode comes out early enough, do we have the one that it's good to use during a sprint weekend? Because you get double points for sprint and...
That is the 3 times chip. Yes.
The three
from God, what's his full name? Adam at Fan Fantasy, whatever his full name is. If you guys have any questions, Fan Fantasy HQ. His name is Adam. If you guys have any Formula One fantasy questions, he is a fantastic resource. We had him on the show last year, and he knows so much and everything, and he goes over the chips to use and how to use them and everything. So we recommend for sprint weekends, doesn't have to be this weekend, there are multiple sprint weekends, but use a 3 times chip this weekend because it
counts for both sprint and race.
So you'll get points off of sprint quali, sprint race, race quali, race.
Yeah.
So, and then triple that. So
sorry, the girl Stephanie who's in third. I love that her name's potential winner. I admire the confidence.
That's so good.
But do you have anything else to say?
I've got nothing. I know it was a long one. Yeah, we apologize. We just had a shit ton to talk about.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 100. As always, we appreciate you listening. If you made it to the end of this hour and 40-minute episode, we really appreciate you.
We really appreciate it, yeah.
If you listen to us on ×2, I don't blame you. But yes, thank you so much. As always, please go give us a follow over on Instagram at Threads at _underground_, over on Twitter X at UGCircuitPod, over on TikTok if you want to see the 2 videos I posted this weekend that had to do with Yuki Tsunoda that are apparently doing well. So the people love Yuki, clearly.
People love Yuki.
_circuit. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. We will be back next week. We will be splitting the show. We will be doing 30 minutes of China recap, and we'll be doing 30 minutes of thermal recap. So thank you so much, and we will see you all next week.
See you later, people.